All right, there is really not much to see there, but then looking from a legal perspective, maybe there's some more insight to what looks like a surface level disagreement between directions from Yaoundé down to the University of Buea. I would like to ask, do you see any more of the typical agenda of La Republique, which is to infiltrate into Ambazonia typical structures and culture? Do you see any of that strategy in this scenario, Barrister Mbeseha?
Well, if what is going on in Buea University is true, it touches on the very core of the ambassador. For those who don't know, the creation of the University of Buea, which was specified to be an Anglo-Saxon university, took a long time in coming. People sacrificed their lives for that. They wanted to institute an academic institution of higher learning with the standards that Anglo-Saxon based. And so they successfully had that thing created in the name of Anglo-Saxon University. At the time it was created, the minister had very limited role to play there. The political leader in terms of academia was the pro-chancellor, who was in principle supposed to be an Ambazonian. And so if this university is Anglo-Saxon, does the Ministry of Higher Education have the power to impose on them any other program for them, worst of all, to certify students to become doctorate degree holders? The holding of a doctorate degree anywhere in the university around the world is based on the ability of the campus or the university issuing that to supervise and make sure that it meets with the standards. If the ICT university signed an agreement with the University of Buea, as I already said, it was for the master's degree program. Because in Cameroon, that being a private university, they are not supposed to give university a degree by themselves. Surely for the simple reason that they might not have the qualified staff. Otherwise, neighbor will create a university, and they have created many around the corner of the village of any house, and then issue your own degree that you want. But for purpose of control, they subjected them to be under state-owned universities. The presumption or the assumption was that the state-owned universities will have the capacity to oversee what the private universities are doing. If Buea University refuses to oversee what is coming out of the ICT university, for doctoral courses, they are perfectly right in their own. And so at the end of the day, the question you must ask is, if what they are on the people are doing, the government is doing, who shall issue that doctoral degree to whoever graduates from the ICT university? Is it the Minister of Higher Education or the University of Buea, which is certified academic institution? The minister is a political institution. He has no academic qualifications to issue degrees. The university is technical in that you must be qualified to have something. You must be qualified to teach there. Anybody can be made a minister, even a farmer. In Cameroon, anybody can become anything. And so the University of Buea is right in their context to say, no, we are not doing it, and Yaoundé will not impose this on us. Because if Yaoundé must impose on them, Yaoundé must also bring them the professors that are worth supervising doctorate degrees. It's not to teach in university. You teach in university. It's not every university professor who supervises a doctorate. No, there are different levels of university degree professors. Some base their supervision only on first degrees, others on second degree, that is masters, and the superior ones deal with the PhD because that's a terminal degree. You don't go beyond. And so again, this is it touches the very core of what we're fighting for. Remember, 2016 was meddling with education. The consortium, the teachers, the lawyers, and the civil community were arguing about education. They accepted to send French teachers to teach English teachers, to teach English children. Which English children will write examination in English. Not just in English, they will write the GCE, which is a single subject exam. The Francophone children, they have never written a single subject exam. And so it touches at the core of what we have been fighting for. In fact, what was at the beginning of this struggle, education to be preserved for what it is. And so I think the University of Buea, if they are standing up to that right, we say kudos to them. The ICT university If they must give the doctorate degrees, they must prove that they have the quality to do it. They have the staff. Not everybody will go there and bring his wife, his sister, his daughter, and put there and then issue a doctorate degree. Talk less, talk more of even an MA. And we have seen this, we've said this many times. Universities in Cameroon are created upon of universities. I said here the other day, they create, for example, in Cameroon, they have about 10 state universities, if not more, about 11. And each of those state universities is a school of. And you ask yourself, where are the medical practicing institutes? Where do they train? Where are these students in doctors? Where do they practice? You go to have no teaching hospital. You go to Bamenda, there's no university teaching hospital. Where do they go to, these poor boys and girls who are going to the school? They go down, whatever thing they call it, down the quartier, and then they practice to become doctors. What type of doctors do you expect to get out of these gentlemen and these young ladies? They are very brilliant, but is it their fault? To become a teacher, a medical doctor, you should have the facility to train, to be able, if you start treating animals, treating objects, to treating human beings. Now they have not given them this opportunity. Every 30 or 40 from Buea, 50 from called the medical doctor. They go out, they are in fact killers. Not because of their own fault, but because they were not given training. And they're thrown out to be doctors. I've said here, even those guys, those children who go there, given the opportunity, the rightful opportunity, they will rise up to the highest level of medical training. I've seen children who left Cameroon from those medical schools and came to the United States, and they became some of the best in specialized hospitals over here. They got here, they went to school, the appropriate school, they trained to become surgeons, they trained to become pediatricians, they trained to become whatever you call in medicine. But without all these facilities, Cameroon is deceiving the people, and they are wasting people's money. And again, I'd insist, what sense does it make, for example, just by way of example, what sense does it make to create a medical school in Buea, create one in Bamenda, the one in Buea takes 80 students, the one in Bamenda takes 80 students, and then they dispoor income. We now have one big medical school with all the lab that you need, with a good teaching hospital, and admit 100 children there than to create, everyone has one with 80 students, 40, 20 students, and so on and so forth. These are scammers. They will go out the idea that these PhD holders, let us go to the ICT thing, and then those so-called holders work the capacity of universities. They are zero of Africa universities, all the Cameroon universities together, which are just among the first 100 universities in Africa. None. And of course, they produce PhD holders. Where did they do the research? Down the quartier? Where are the results? Where are the publications? Nowhere. And of course, you find that once in a while, I mean, it becomes so long. You find university professors in Cameroon going on strike, looking for what? Looking for research allowance. Where's the research you have done? You have seen no research. But they are paid allowances for that. That's academic dishonesty. That's bribery. Back to the point, the University of Buea is on point. They should not accept to do what they are not capable of doing. Because at the end of the day, it is their credibility which is at stake. They are the ones who will issue the PhD degrees to those guys, not the minister. They should stand their grounds. They're very much on point. Over to you.
Thank you, Mbeseha. Truly, it is their credibility that is at stake.